Ihr hört Litfass,
den Kulturpodcast aus Lörrach. Aufgenommen hier im Burghof.
Mit Lisa
und mit Timo.
So, vielen Dank, dass Sie noch hier geblieben sind und mit uns bzw. mit der Tanzkompagnie sprechen wollen. Wir werden das jetzt auf Englisch machen müssen, aber es ist auch möglich, sollten Sie dann Fragen haben, die auf Deutsch zu stellen. Wir werden unser Bestes tun, die dann auch zu übersetzen. So, thank you so much for taking the time right after the performance of so beautiful two pieces, very contrasting also, and such a mesmerizing interpretation and performance of them. Thank you so much, and lots of respect. Could you tell us a bit about the two pieces and like how did you get to pick them up, or how have you been picked up maybe by the choreographers, and how did the work evolve?
Perhaps I start because...
excuse me, sorry, I did not introduce you. Maybe you want just briefly introduce yourselves to the audience. Thank you.
Me first? Hi and good evening. My name is Pansters. I'm from the Netherlands and dancing with tanzmainz for 9 years now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul Elie. I'm French. I've been dancing in a company for 4 seasons now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and my name is Honne Dohrmann, I'm German. So I'm the director of the company since we went from Oldenburg in the north to Mainz in 2014, and when we were starting as tanzmainz. Tanzmainz is a company of currently 25 dancers, the dance department, and it has been a ballet company, and we quite changed it into a more contemporary way. We say we are a place of creation. I'm not a choreographer, never been a dancer, just a moderator inviting people to work together. And all the works we are showing in our repertoire are done by choreographers from outside, from abroad, who come to Mainz and do new creations with this very experienced, very versatile group of dancers. About the two pieces tonight. I start with the second one, because the second one was made in 2021 and by Sharon Eyal, and we started to work with Sharon Eyal already back in 2010 when she was still a very known dancer but a not so known choreographer, and we were lucky enough to grow together with her. Today she is one of the most world famous choreographers, I think I could say. And we had the joy to develop 4 pieces together over the years. And currently we still have Promise and another piece, Soul Chain, in the repertoire. This piece was made under special conditions. After the first pieces, we were looking with Sharon for a date to come together to do a new one, and we didn't manage. And then Corona came, you remember? So everything was closed. We were almost closed, just slowly, carefully returning back in the studio, 3 meters distance, 6 meters distance. And Sharon was calling and saying, hey guys, everything was canceled, all my shows, all my creations. If you manage to bring me somehow out of Israel, which is closed, to Germany, which is more or less closed, then we could do something together. We managed somehow. We were creative, and so Sharon came, and we had beautiful 7 weeks together, almost. And in a time where you did anything else but not being close together, like here. And perhaps Amber, you can tell a bit how you experienced this time.
It was like after the first lockdown, so slowly things started to open a little bit, but the whole world was distancing itself from each other, and we, under very special regulations, of course, because safety regulations up first, got to experience the work Promise and working very closely on top of each other, especially these family portrait images, and somehow the contrast of that with what was happening in the world was something very strong, and I feel also it fueled her creativity and ours. Sort of this sense of longing and wanting to be close to each other again, like this feeling and need, human need, was really very present in the creation of the work.
And this group is performing this piece tonight. Tonight was the 53rd show, if I'm not mistaken. So always with the same original cast, which is really very, very close together. I always have the feeling you can feel each other. It became a family. So it was a family portrait, and these dancers are such a strong group. And I think it's one of the core works of tanzmainz, and you know better than me what is demanded and what is possible to learn as a dancer from this kind of work.
Specifically from Promise, or I think for as a dancer, what is demanding is that you have to sort of say yes to and surrender to something that's much bigger than yourself, like a sense of effort, big effort that we do. And you say yes to that together as a group. And yeah, that's a bit the start of the journey that you're then going to make, because it's quite high intensity. It's like this hour on like relevé and intense physical work, like it's a sense of like saying yes together and surrendering. And I really like this this sort of empowerment that comes with that, when you let go into something and create something that's much bigger than you alone on stage. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting how differently it appears, you know, after knowing the story of it coming up in the such a difficult time during the pandemic, and somehow it's, you know, reflecting the time also maybe.
Yeah, and Sharon, during this, she made this piece, she was extremely happy. She was really free, because she is someone with a lot of responsibilities, many tasks, many obligations. But here she was like, the world was closed. Israel was closed. She couldn't see her family. She couldn't see anyone. She could not do nothing else than just be in the studio with these beautiful dancers. And she was like flying in every day and flying out. But there's one story about this piece I would like to tell, because I got a heart attack almost. And then we come to the second piece. My heart attack was that we had, at the end of the rehearsals, we had a beautiful piece of 1 hour. And the choreographer, Sharon, she was sitting there somewhere one day for the other, and like with a sort of dark face. And she said, no, it's not that yet. But we all said, oh, Sharon, it's beautiful. Come on, it's beautiful. No. And then next morning she came back like 3 or very few days before the premiere. And she said, now I know what we do. We do the perfume of this piece. So, and then she was kicking out the wonderful song we all loved. She kicked out material which they developed for 2 months. And she shortened the piece for 17 minutes, from 60 to 43. And then she was smiling and she said, no, it's a piece. And this is what we have here. And the more happy we are that, I mean, these 43 minutes are so intense, but still we are happy to have Unfolding with Paul and his colleagues. Unfolding was made in 2023 by Philippe Kratz. And Philippe Kratz is a choreographer who is German, from Leverkusen, but he never worked in Germany. He got his education in Canada mostly, and he has been for many years one of the principal dancers of Atta Balletto, one of the foremost companies from Italy, and starting his career as a choreographer not so long ago. And we knew him, and we invited him to come back to Germany and work here as a choreographer. And so he came for a 3-week tryout. And the result of a tryout was suddenly a quite beautiful small piece. So, Unfolding. Paul, how was the approach?
As Honne said, we started really as a tryout with Philippe, not really knowing what we were going to do. There was a lot of open doors, let's say, to what could happen or could not happen. And eventually, after a few days, we realized that Philippe is someone that loves movement, that is a passionate of physicality and physical work. So very quickly, we started developing with him quite intense material, which became very condensed in this 10-11 minutes piece. And so from 1 week to another, we had a 10 minutes performance, which became now what you saw tonight. Yeah.
Beautiful. So as a group, I'm interested in, with such a versatile and diverse repertoire, how do you maintain consistency as a group of dancers of 23 or how many?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, I feel that everyone has a huge wish and need for curiosity in the company. Everyone is quite playful. So this sense of consistency, because it can be quite a lot of pressure, doing a lot of different works and keeping them all high quality, and you drop one work for a few months because you're premiering 2 other ones and then bringing one back again for touring. And it can become quite a heavy load, but because we have this playfulness, I feel, and this sense of enjoyment for what we do, somehow it carries us through these different waves of going through different works through a season. And I feel this is like a commonality that we have in the company, and this is what makes it weirdly consistent somehow then.
I also think there's a willingness, from all the dancers, to be there every day, and there is a certain drive that is not necessarily spoken about, that we just show up wanting to do the best, not just for our own selves, but for the group, for what the company represents. And I think there is this similar drive that we all have in the group.
Yeah, and I think there's, over the years, we have developed a very strong commitment within the company. So the dancers have a lot of responsibility about what we do and how we do it. Amber, for instance, is one of the speakers of the company. Paul is, together with a colleague, responsible for the very successful social media account of tanzmainz and working very independently. So I can say, me as a director, I have certain parts, but I'm only one of this group, more and more, because people are so responsible. Each dancer is owning the company, and this you feel on stage. This you feel if you work together. So there's no matter of discipline affairs or something, because it's really, I feel it, it's something like it's yours, it's ours together. And this is what makes a good show at the very end.
Beautiful, yeah. And again, speaking about the company as a company, maybe what's your motivation of inventing and keeping exploring different fields and directions with the group? As you mentioned, you've never been a dancer or choreographer.
So first of all, Mainz is a city with 230,000 inhabitants. So this is our company is the opportunity to show what is going on in the dance world with all the different colors and styles, and reflect also a bit the world and society. I would say we are quite political in how we understand us, ourselves, and how we see society. And this we want to reflect. We want really to be in a dialogue with you, with our audience. And this honesty and being curious for each new creator, open and develop something together, which can only happen in minds, in the togetherness of these different groups. This is what we try to develop. And another approach is to give the opportunity to learn. It's so beautiful to see these colleagues in so different works, in so different styles, to see what you can do. And it's also a win-win situation, because I have the feeling that Mainz became a very attractive place for very strong dancers, and that's not because of the money. It helps a bit, but it's not about the money, but it's about, no. But it's about this special group and the versatility of works and the challenges.
Yeah, I think it also comes from this. I feel when I entered the company a few years ago that it was never about wanting to achieve something, because it was already there, and you just come with the spirit of wanting to be collaborative, I think, and curious, as both of you mentioned before. Yeah, just to open channels for new type of arts to come and to be open about it, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you. So I would love to invite you to ask any questions, if you have any. Gerne auch auf Deutsch, wenn Sie möchten, und wir werden uns bemühen, das zu übersetzen. Yep. How does the music and the dance come together, or the choreography? So, which? Okay.
I mean, I can say for Promise, maybe. I mean, Sharon Eyal has a lifelong collaborator, composer, Ori Lichtig. Usually how they create works is that he's in the studio, the entire process with his entire setup, DJ, computer, everything, and the music is developed completely parallel with the dance. So sometimes we're running scenes and then new music comes and he is like tweaking it on the spot. So this is how we did it, for example, for the production Soul Chain. Because the situation was a little bit different with Promise. It wasn't like this because he wasn't able to come with us to Mainz. So he was like, we did it through video chat and like on the phone, and like Sharon was on the phone with him while choreographing, and he was tweaking it back in, I think he was back in Israel, in Tel Aviv. So this was a little bit different, but normally it's developed really parallel with her work, yeah.
And concerning Unfolding, I think Philippe was more busy first with the physicality, the movements and the bodies, and then eventually he had a few ideas with the music. We had first this kind of tribal going through electro music, and eventually it became what it was now. I think personal choices that he had, like preferences, and yeah, but it came quite after.
Once again, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for visiting us and for your great performances. Keep up the great work. It's been really a pleasure having you. And yeah, thank you. Vielen Dank Ihnen.
Danke, dass ihr uns heute zugehört habt. Und in Zukunft wollen wir auch eure Vorschläge mit in unseren Podcast nehmen. Also schreibt uns über Social Media, über die Webseite, guckt euch das Programm vom Burghof an, seid in Lörrach mit offenen Augen unterwegs oder grundsätzlich in der Kulturwelt und schreibt uns und wir sprechen drüber.
Das war der Burghof-Podcast mit Lisa Weiß-Sinn in der Moderation, Marc Egles. Vielen Dank für die Tonbearbeitung. Mein Name ist Timo Sadovnik und ich freue mich auf bald.